Okay, YouTube. I hope I'm getting it right this time. I hope I'm getting better, should I say? Um, because it's a challenge to get up to speed with all this limited resources that I have and the tech availability to me. So I'm trying my best to get things going in order for me to have a better way of doing this thing. But let me start this video, which remember we're doing a series of 20 videos, and among those, hopefully we'll discuss certain more specific stuff that we can dive into and things that are going to impact everybody. We're, for example, economic pricing right now, which we have again. I said this during the Trump administration that they were repressing the crisis that we technically should be under, which is a recession, inflationary recession. We had one of those during the Reagan years, during the Carter years, because we are the price the general pricing right now, the general price index is not exactly up to par to what the earnings are. So let me point this out. There's a senator by the name of Joni Ernst who does YouTubes just like I'm doing right now, and she came out and said that the Democrats are trying to put the wages at $15 an hour, and that a bunch of Iowan small businesses were crying at her shoulder, saying that that was too much, that they were going to break. I don't know what kind of small business she was talking about, because I don't think that $15 an hour would break the business. Now, it could be some shack in the wall restaurant, which, again, I don't think so. When you look at the cost analysis of a business, you find out that they have a pretty healthy, I would say a 30% margin on most everything they're doing across the board. And I'm generalizing right now because I would have, in order for me to be more specific, I would need to analyze the financials of a specific business. Because just like I'm different and you're different, the listener, we're all different. Just the businesses are the same. Even one tech company to another, let's say Twitter to Facebook, they're different. YouTube to, I don't know, TikTok, they're different, and so on. You get the idea. So all businesses are different. Even two restaurants. You take one fast food to another fast food, Burger King and McDonald's, they're different. They sell about the same thing, but they're different, and their financials are different. So we need to look each case specifically in order to come out with see what exactly is their margin. But in general, I would venture to say that the general price margin that's coming out of the businesses, whether small, medium, or large, is about 30%. Maybe the larger businesses have a greater margin, but that's about what I'm gauging it at in a general sense. If you look at the RMAs, the Robert Morris and Associates index books, you can pretty much get an approximation there. Now, Joni Ernst, I don't know where she's coming from, but she talked about also about the filibuster, and she said that it's a good thing. So again, that's totally away from reality. The filibuster has not brought anything good to this country. Not at all. I don't know where she gets her information. I don't know who's feeding her. Maybe those old fogies that stand behind her, and the little country girl, uh, young, not really young. She's around 50 years old, but anyway, to their to their eyes, Mitch McConnell is not exactly a young whippersnapper, and Joni Ernst is a lot younger than Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham and all those bozos, even Ted Cruz, and the list goes on. Kevin McCarthy and I. I mean, you can go on, and with all the names, you can roll names out like a roll of toilet paper, and none of these people are really stand up to what is truly something real, something true solutions. I don't see coming up with a solution. What minimum wage would she come up with on real terms and on nominal terms? I don't think she knows the difference between real and nominal. And she's going to have to ask her staff, and they're going to come up with some bogus answer, which still leaves her in the hanging from a shoestring. So, having said all this, that's the recession. But still, we are in a situation where our country has been, and now more than ever, it has been because we've been rolling on this roller coaster. We've been going on this roller coaster for the last 100 years or more on the social divide. We have a big social division. And in that social division, we have other social divisions among the socially divided. So take a picture of this from a sociology standpoint of view, or what one of my areas is social anthropology. So if you look at social anthropology and see the construct on social behavior and social association and groupings, you find out that it's a little bit bizarre to try to pin the tail on the donkey and say to the Chinese, "Oh, we're here on a humanitarian basis. Oh, we're here on this basis." When the Trump administration just flat out cruelly treated the immigrants that were coming here. Now, there's all kinds of theories how those caravans came to be. Of course, with Joe Biden, there's no caravans, but still there's a trickling, and I'm not going to say trickle down, but there's a trickling flow, a constant flow of people coming up to the border and trying to get into the U.S. And the way they're doing it now is they're coming straight to the immigration officials. They're not trying to cross illegally. They come straight to the immigration officials because they're looking for asylum. They're looking for protection. They're looking for some place where they're a little bit safer than in their home country. Granted, uh, uh, Donald Trump negotiated with Mexico in a harsh way to keep the people that were coming from Central America in Mexico while they awaited like forever, because the process wasn't expedient like Ted Cruz wants to say and make you believe that it was. It was not expedient. The famous cages that Barack Obama built, yeah, he built them, and of course, if you look at the stats, Barack Obama repatriated or took back to their home country more people than Donald Trump did. Donald Trump was cruel. He wanted to keep those people there, make them suffer, make them punish them for coming up here, and not even knowing the reality of their home country. What were they going under? What was the social conditions or anything like that? And then comes the term that Ted Cruz likes to use, the war on drugs and all these drug cartels. Well, Mr. Ted Cruz, who is fostering the drug cartels? The immigrants are fostering the drug cartels. The countries of Mexico and the Central American countries are fostering the drug cartels. Most of those countries are struggling and they have social disorder in Central America. So between the social disorder, the struggle, and trying to stay afloat, you compound those problems with drug movement. And how does that drug movement move? I don't think you even have a clue. I don't think you ever seen the drug, how it's processed through immigration once it's captured. You don't have a clue, and if you did, you could care less what it is, because you're spouting a bunch of lies. Oh, I'm going to the border, and I'm going to see how the kids are side to side, and they're all cramped and all this. Yeah, I don't think Joe Biden have the kids all cramped. Trump had them all cramped. Trump had women raped, and nobody cared. ICE, he applauded ICE for raping those women. He said it himself. So if you look at the tapes, Ted Cruz, John Connery, Ron Johnson, Marco Rubio, just look at the videos. Look at his behavior. He thrived emotionally in the torture of those people. And is that humane? Is that what Mike Pompeo was out there spouting around the world, saying, "Oh, we are against, we're fostering human rights and human rights here." He even had a human rights panel put together, bright minds that are have delved into the human rights issue, and they put some type of document there with a list of human rights that they should look at. All that is a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry to say this, Mr. YouTube, but that's I wanted to use a plain language that people can all understand. That's a bunch of bullshit. And Mike Pompeo said a bunch of bullshit. So how can we have the face if we don't even take care of our own people in house, and then we don't take care of people who want to come in, the immigrants? We treat them like shit, and we treat our own people like shit. The Black Lives Matter. What happened in Portland, Oregon? What happened in Washington State? What happened in Minnesota? Trump, and then look at the other end. What happened in the riots that took place in Charlottesville? What happened in Kentucky? What happened in Alabama when the white people were rioting and were, oh, that was a peaceful march. That was not no peaceful march. And then what happened January 6th when he incited that riot? He did incite that riot. If people look at the other way and say, no, that was not inciting words, they're stupid. The judge is stupid. The lawyers are stupid because they believe the ding dong because they're cutting him a lot of slack. That's too much slack. That's beyond leniency. He said it and he wanted it to be done that way. Many of the people who were out there in the march on 6 has confessed. They publicly confessed that they were there because of Trump and because they were following orders from Trump. How clear can that get? The FBI is going to turn their back and say, "Oh no, this guy didn't do this. This guy didn't." Come on, Mr. FBI, I could do better than you guys. I can do forensic analysis, and I can do psychological forensic analysis through social anthropology and determine that those people were actually revolting against the U.S. They weren't peaceful marchers. They weren't people who just picked up some sticks and went against the police. They were out to kill. Those people were out to kill. They weren't, trying to defend themselves from the police. No, they were out to kill. Run the police over, knock the police down, kill the police down, run them over, and go kill Vice President Pence. Go kill Nancy Pelosi. Go kill AOC, Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez. Go kill, all these Democratic people. That's what they were chanting. That's what they were saying. Alex Jones was transmitting that chant. How can it not be true? I don't think Alex Jones was transmitting live. Live. He wasn't transmitting after the mass or in a little square corner. He was transmitting live because he was there. Now, if the FBI doesn't want to go after Alex Jones, I question the FBI ethics. I question the FBI norms and operating procedures. I question those. Because if they don't go after Alex Jones, then what the hell is the justice for? That's the question. So I post a question to the people in TikTok. I want to go back and rephrase it here for YouTube. I said, what happens when a lie meets the truth, or the truth meets the lie? Think about it. What happens? What happens when a half-truth meets the facts? You know, if anybody of you see the old programs, some I think it's 45, 30, channel 35, and I mean cable news has it all over the place. Different channels show old sitcoms. One of the sitcoms would be Dragnet, and the two officers would say, "We just want the facts. Don't double talk us, lady, or don't double talk us, mister. We want the facts, just the facts." So they wanted the truth. So what happens when a fact meets a half-truth? You know, you can ask Perry Mason that same question. He'll give you the right answer. And I'm sure you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I doing this? Now, let's take for example, a guy like Josh Hawley. He comes from the state of Missouri. And there's some ding-dong there governor who right now I can't remember his name, Rick something. And that governor seems to favor Josh Hawley. And Josh Hawley kept questioning the outcome of the Pennsylvania voting. He questioned the Georgia voting. He stood up in Congress and said that was false, and they were manipulating, and they were all this fraud ballots. So what happened to the motto of Missouri that you guys are so proud of? When I was there in Missouri, that was one of the big prides of Missouri. When I spoke to many of the Missourians over there, when I was in Kansas City and in Jefferson City, a lot of the people spoke to me about their motto. Oh, their motto was "Show me," and that's what it's called, the Show Me State. So how come Josh Hawley didn't say, "Well, show me where the fraud is"? And there was no fraud. Show me the fraudulent ballots. There was no fraudulent ballots. Show me the people who are dead and voted. There's no dead people voting ballots. So what happened to the motto? Come on, Mr. Governor. Wake up. Mr. Lieutenant Governor. Attorney General. Come on, wake up. What happened to the motto? Show me. Are you all of a sudden became stupid? Became dumb? That you can't remember what happened to the motto, the Show Me State? That's who you are. In the Bible, you know, a lot of Bible thumpers out there. When the apostles were in that room after the death of Jesus and he was buried, and Mary Magdalene came back and said, "I saw Jesus and he's coming." And why is Thomas called the doubting Thomas in layman's terms? Because what he says, "You got to show me. I want to see the wounds in his hands and the wounds on his feet and the wound on his side. Until I see him, I'll believe." That's what he said. So, what happened, Missouri? What happened, Governor? What happened, Lieutenant Governor? What happened, Attorney General? And then you got this Josh Hawley roaming around like a free nut when he was part of the insurrection, and you support him? That's shameful. That is shameful. That's people without honor. What happened to the honor of this country? What happened? You know, Donald Trump says, "Make America great again." You can't make America great again if you have no honor. The military people of Missouri know this very well. And Missourians are well represented in the armed forces. And they know what honor means. And there's no honor in Donald Trump. And there's no honor in Josh Hawley. There's no honor on the governor. There's no honor on the lieutenant governor. There's no honor on the attorney general. Same with Texas. There's no honor in Ted Cruz. There's no honor in John Crowley. There's no honor in Greg Abbott. There's no honor in his lieutenant governor. There's no honor in Paxton, the attorney general. There's no honor. So how can America be great again if we have a bunch of people with no honor? There's no honor in Mitch McConnell. There's no honor in Lindsey Graham. There's no honor in the same Ted Cruz. There's no honor in Marco Rubio. There's no honor in Kevin McCarthy. And so on. There's no honor in all those Republicans that are there. There's no honor on Joni Ernst. So, and there's a lot of Iowans represented in the armed forces. Where's the honor, Joni Ernst? Where's your honor? I ask you, straightforward. If I see you again face to face, Joni Ernst, I will ask you the same question. And I might just see you face to face again. And I will ask you that question. Where's the honor? Because without honor, there's no greatness. And that's the truth. And the truth will set you free. That's found in the book of John. The truth will set you free. So Trump is telling you a lie because he himself has no honor. How can America be great again? The Proud Boys? The Proud Boys have no honor. The Boogaloo Boys? The Boogaloo Boys have no honor. The KKK? They have no honor. So there's a lot of white supremacist groups, the Nazi, neo-Nazi groups. They have no honor. So how can it make America great again when there's no honor? The main ingredient for greatness is not there. You can be bravado all you want. That doesn't give you honor. You can be a fighter. That doesn't give you honor. You can shoot bullets all you want. That doesn't give you honor. Honor is something greater than everything that I just mentioned. So make America great again without honor is not making America great again. It's making America down again. Disgraceful, losing face. The people from the outside world, the foreigners, the different Europe, Eastern Europe, Asia, Northern Asia, Southern Asia, Africa, Middle East, they see us like a group that has no honor. So we disgrace the military as civilians. And some of the military disgrace the military themselves by their participation with Donald Trump, who has no honor. So that's my message to you guys in this video. The concept of honor. And then a lot of people will throw you, oh no, we're becoming socialists. The Democrats are socialists, and Bernie and AOC and all. They're not communists. They're not socialist. I mean, you wouldn't know socialism if it sat on your lap and called you daddy or mommy. It's a whole ball. Even the people, and I'm going to go to the extreme, people that come here to the U.S. from Venezuela, and we're saying, Donald Trump himself said it, Venezuela is a socialist country and it has its people starving to death and all this crap. People who come from Venezuela will not say that their country is socialist. It's a dictatorship. Just like Ying Pong Yoon or whatever his name is over there in North Korea. I call him Toby. But he looks like Toby, if you know who I'm talking about, many of you. But still, you look, it's a dictatorship. I mean, you can label whatever ideology you want to those dictatorships, and none of them will be applicable to whatever ideology you want to pin on them, because they're not ideologically driven. They're driven by power and domain, which means dominance. So this is ludicrous. All these people like Ted Cruz, oh, they're social. Oh, look, catch and release. All these immigrants are coming over here, and they got all these rapists and all these criminals and all this. What's he talking about? He's the first one to leave the country, go to Cancun. You know what's the big deal with him? And then people really believe him, what he's saying. I mean, that guy has not a pin to drop on. If he dropped dead, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'd be happy. Say, man, finally we got rid of the jackass. He won't do any more harm. So that's the level of where we are in this situation that we're in the U.S. They attack Biden and they say, "Oh, Biden has all this criminals coming in." No, he does not have that. Trump, oh, he stopped cash and release. I mean, just listen to what Trump said. Oh, the ICE went and caught 6,000 of MS-13, and then the next time in another rally he said, oh, they caught 14,000. You know, well, the whole Guatemalan country's over here. They're all MS-13. You know, the numbers are ridiculous. They're not even real. Yeah, the gang does exist, the MS-13. But they're not 15,000 MS-13 people. I mean, you're talking about a country who has a population the size of Iowa, talking about Joni Ernst. That size of population Guatemala has. You know, you're not talking a lot of people. And just like Guatemala is losing people, they're running away from Guatemala because of the chaotic situation they're in. Iowa's losing people too. And they're not having a chaotic situation. They're losing people because people are tired. People are not seeing the benefit. And is Joni Ernst looking for a way to enhance the benefit of the farmers over there and get a better way of using the corn, exporting the ethanol, you know, the pork, or you know, you got all this great richness over there in Iowa, and Joni Ernst and that Grassley guy, they're not doing squat for the Iowans. The Iowans are doing it all themselves. I mean, they don't depend on those two bozos. You go to the ranchers and you go to the small communities in Iowa, and they're struggling, and they're working. They're trying to make the thing work out. Some people have a job and farm at the same time. They do both things. They have a job and then farm also because they don't want to lose their land. And then you have the big giant companies like Monsanto and the other guy, the other giant company coming in and buying up land. You know, they're squeezing out the little guys. Why? Why can't we do anything to help the farmers? Truly help the farmers. Not just pretend to help the farmers, but really help the farmers. What did Trump do? Oh, we're going to set the tariffs because China's... China is just a restaurant over there in Hong Kong. How can Yang Ping or Jing Xing or whatever his name is, that Chinese prime minister, be involved in whatever that restaurant buys here in the U.S. and imports? He's not involved in that crap. Any company, anywhere in the world, buys their stuff from whoever they want to buy it from. And the government has nothing to say so. There's rules and regulations that the government does. There's processes that the government puts in place, and that's about it. Now, in the case of Trump, he wanted to get involved in everything. He wanted the people to be involved. And Peter Navarro had people there trying to get involved in all this tariff wars that he had on the Chinese. And basically, the people who were bankrolling all those tariffs were the people who were importing the product from China. Chinese aren't stupid. They're not going to say, "Oh, we're going to take it all the way through door-to-door transportation." No, they're not. I mean, I wouldn't do that if I knew that China had a trade war with us and I would have to pay the tariff if I take it door to door. I would not do that. I would just put it to port, and the other guy takes it from there. He pays me, and he that's his merchandise. He does what he wants to do with it. That's pretty much it. I mean, in a simple format. You guys listen to my video, and you're gonna see that what I'm saying is the plain facts, and that's the way it operates. There's no big giant mystery. All this politicians want to create a mystery on this crap. There is not. We can talk about it all day and all night, and I can tell you how things are run actually. That's why I said in one of the TikTok videos, I got the competency, and I got the academics behind me, and I got the pragmatic process ahead of me, the experience, and so I know what I'm talking about. I didn't need to go to Princeton or Yale or Harvard. I mean, it would be nice if I would have gone. I mean, I still would have done the same thing that I did from the university that I went to. Dive into the books, dive into well, maybe not harass the professors, but just insist, be persistent with the professors to get answers and to get examples and to get inside knowledge, and try to work for free, internships, and to pick up knowledge in other places and that are correlates to what I'm studying. So I did my share of all that. So no. And then I did my share of practice and did solve problems. I'm a problem solver. I don't jack around and pretend to solve problems. No, I'm a problem solver, both in economics, in entrepreneurship, in business. And I say entrepreneurship because the entrepreneurship is from the idea to the crystallization of the business. When I say business, I mean the operating business already that has more than 5 years in existence and needs some type of enhancement, or say some type of troubleshooting, or some type of within their operation in whatever they're doing. So that's the difference between the two concepts. Then you have the social anthropology part of me that also looks into the different social constructs that exist and the behavior of the people and all those. Then you have the theology part of me that looks into the social behavior in pursuing some type of credence or belief system. And believe me when I say this to you guys, the evangelical Christian community is the closest to an apostate that I can see. And that's not saying that the Methodist Church is apostate. They do what they do. But they are moving in that direction because they want to emulate or imitate the evangelical community, which is non-denominational groups. But they're very close to an apostate group. Believe me, they are. And now with the Trump, kind of like he opened Pandora's box. Many of the non-denominational Christian groups just start to pop up, and all of a sudden you got all these false prophets and all these preachers and all these Looney Tunes that are out there Bible thumping and doing all this hullabaloo that is meaningless to God. If it's meaningless to me, how can you expect God to say, "Oh, they're doing a great job"? When God made us in His image and in His image and in His emblems, I tell you, we need to wake up. People listening to this video, we need to wake up. We need to stop and smell the coffee, before we do anything else, so we can move forward and begin to come together. Stop the divide. Come together. And another thing, the last thing that I'm going to say is voting. Who is suppressing the votes? It's all the state Republican Congresses that are repressing the votes, gerrymandering, the redistricting. They're the ones that they're not open to say, oh yeah, let's vote, let's solve people's problems, let's give something to the people back. No, they take from the people and don't give nothing back. They think they give, they want to make you believe that they're giving something back to you, but they're not. The Democrats are actually giving more to the people than the Republicans will in my lifetime. And if you see me making this video, you see that I'm no young whippersnapper. So when I say in my lifetime, I mean my lifetime is a pretty long line. And I can tell you right now that the Republican Party has not been a kosher party. So all the cases, and just Google it, go through the Congress, go through the legal system, the courts, the court records, and you'll see that all the fraud cases that happened in this last election, they were all Republicans and white supremacists. All of them. Maybe there's one Democrat that fell through the cracks, but one is nothing compared to the over 100 and plus Republicans that committed voter fraud. And Donald Trump is whining that the Republicans, that the Democrats stole the election. Give me a break, Donald Trump. You're a loser. You've always been a loser. And you create a facade that people believe in that facade, but that facade's going to crash like a house of cards. And that facade will no longer be. Same like Tucker Carlson. His facade has come to the end. Fox News needs to revamp its belief system. Fox News and its executives need to reconsider and reconfigure their way of communicating to the public and what type of information is communicated to the public. Because what they're communicating is a bunch of nonsense, false information, misinformation, hyperboles. You got this Judge Jenny or Judy or Jenny or whatever her name is, who spouts all this crap that has no meaning to it. I mean, if we were in Russia, they would already shot her. Some of these places, they don't take bullshit like that. And that's what she does. She has become, if she was a real judge, which I'm going to check her out. I haven't had time to check her out because I got to work. I have this 2 part-time jobs, and look how I look. I mean, I'm tired, man. But I'm making these videos because I believe in we the people. I believe we can turn all this around. And right now, the best way that we can turn it around is to turn every state blue. Turn Texas blue. Because if that doesn't happen, the Republicans will not learn. They will not learn. They haven't learned in the past 150 years. How are they going to learn right now so quickly? You got all these bozos out there, Hispanics and non-Hispanics, blacks, Asians, that are in the Republican Party. They are about to crack us down like rotten eggs. So I'm going to have to say goodbye right now because I'm going to be censored. You all take care. God bless you and have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.